So first of all, thank you for having me. Such an interesting day. My name is Marie-Louise Dahlberg, and I'm a development manager at the Swedish Football Association. I'm in charge of our recreational football, where walking football is a part of the program. I'm gonna try to tell you a bit about the walking football in Sweden. At the moment, walking football is the fastest growing sport in Sweden, which is amazing. So I'm gonna try to get you through the history. In Sweden, we started in 2016 with walking football. It arrived to a small town in the middle of Sweden at a small club named Borens IK. They were the first one to start walking football in Sweden, and then it slowly started to grow. 2018, it came to Stockholm, the capital, where the Swedish FA also are, and we get our eyes up for walking football, and we started to work with walking football in 2018. And then, as you all know, there was a pandemic, which made it hard with walking football. But since the pandemic ended, we have over 300 football clubs that offers walking football in Sweden, which we are really proud of. And just this year, we have started walking football in 110 new clubs. And I wanted to tell you a bit about our strategy for walking football. How do we work to make it grow in Sweden? So our focusing group is players over the age of 65. In Sweden, 65 is the age when you retire, and 20% of the population is over the age of 65. So it's a big part of the population that we haven't reached with football before. They might have played when they were young, but not in this age. So we target this group. We also get government funding to target this group. But there's another strategic part of it that is we want to be in our football clubs with walking football to make sure they have football for the whole life, lifelong commitment to the clubs. But in the evenings, it's hard to get a time in the pitch. They're youth and it's kids, it's youths that want to be at the pitch. So it's easier if you target those who are retired and can play in the daytime. Our goal with walking football is public health, and we want to increase the public health in Sweden. We want to start walking football in as many clubs as possible. We're a bit afraid that it will grow a bit on the part. We want it to grow in our clubs. That's why it's important for us at the Swedish FA to work with walking football and help our clubs to start walking football. In Sweden, the most common club is a non-profit club with only volunteers as coaches. And the most common volunteer is a parent that coaches their kids. And there's also a big need of volunteers to the clubs. And what we see is that walking football really helps us with the club development. Walking football helps us to get volunteers to the club. And I know that the Danish FA, they have numbers that says that around 30% of those who come and play in the club as adults are engaging voluntary in the club later. So that's a really important part for us. And it's also like a big motivation for the clubs to start walking football. And competitions isn't that big in Sweden. We have a few. And if the clubs want to have competitions, we have region associations that helps them with that, but it's not that common, but it is something that we want to grow in a couple of years. We don't have national teams under the Swedish FA. There are an organization that has national teams, but our strategy is to not have national teams at the moment. We want to focus on growing walking football in our clubs. How do you do that? So what we did since 2022 is that we have paid 18 ambassadors for walking football. I saw that 3 of them are here today, Erwin, Stefan, and Kenneth. These ambassadors, they're really passionate about walking football. They love their game, and they're such a good ambassadors out on the field. The ambassadors are in the age of 65 to 80 years old. So what they do is that they help the clubs with the startup process. If a football club wants to start walking football, they come out there 2 times. At the first session, it's common that they have a lecture to the board or to the members about walking football and what it is and all the benefits of walking football. And then the second session, they had the first training session and showed the participants on how to play walking football. And only this year, 2023, they have visited 110 football clubs, which is amazing. They're doing a great job out there. And they also visited 34 senior clubs. And what we do when we visit the senior clubs is that we try to connect them with the football club to make sure that they collaborate in the future. We also worked this year with the senior exhibitions, meeting places for the people over the age of 65, fairs, I think you can call them also. We're doing 12 this year. One was this week, one is the next week. And so far we reached 125,000 people over the age of 65. And what we do is that we're out there, we take a small pitch with us and we make them try walking football. And then we talk about all the benefits and we have a list of the clubs in their neighborhood. So we take them to the clubs. If they're showing interest, we give them the name of the club, the contact information of the club, and we send them out to the club so they can continue to play walking football. And the ambassadors is a great success. So we just applied for 2 more years of funding to keep them working for us. Our other goal is public health, to increase public health, and to show the world that we are doing that. We are doing some studies with universities. Last year, we had 2 studies that came out, and this year we are doing 2 more studies. So one of the studies I really want to show you guys is this one. The name of the study is "If I Die on the Field, I Will Die Happy," which is a quote from Sarah. She's 76 years old. And this amazing study showed that walking football increased quality of life and joy for elderly. We saw that walking football developed meaningful social relationships and a sense of belonging, which a lot of you who talked earlier today also was talking about. We saw that walking football in clubs where you engage voluntarily make older people regain a sense of importance and opportunity to contribute to society. We saw that walking football reduced social isolation and sedentary lifestyle. And the last part is quite amazing. We saw that walking football increased motivation for physical training and significant movement and performance development. We saw that they trained walking football 2 times a week, but then they started to go to the gym once a week as well. They wanted to be faster, they wanted to be stronger, so they increased their physical activity to become a better walking football player. So that's really, really amazing. And now I'm going to try to show a movie with you. I hope it's going to work. We have produced quite many movies about walking football. They're a bit long, so I tried to just take the best part of it. And I wanted this part to focus on what it can do for the clubs, the voluntary part. So hopefully it will work.
Det är också jättemycket extra ideella krafter som liksom vill vara med och hjälpa till. Och, ja, vi har flera som är med som ledare i vårt parafotbollslag och hjälper till att bemanna café och sådär. Så att det är jättekul att jag har fått in några i styrelsen och sådär. Så att det är väldigt mycket som förening.
Om jag inte hade spelat golffotboll så hade jag inte ställt mig i kaféet. Jag hade inte varit på den här planen överhuvudtaget. Det var sånt man gjorde när barnen var små.
Min kollega Barbro, vi är lagledare och det är väl mest att jag håller på lite med administration och sånt. För det har jag jobbat med i mitt aktiva liv och det tycker jag är ganska roligt.
För föreningen så betyder ju det är ju ett steg att bli en hel förening. Alltså från egentligen de allra yngsta och numera också upp till de allra äldsta. Det är ju också en viktig del i det hela, att de spelarna som vi har som är engagerade, de vill ju gärna så att säga, tillhöra föreningen på riktigt. Så vi har ju de som läktarvärdar, de som vill på våra matcher. Det är ett helt ideellt uppdrag där de egentligen bara ser till att publiken mår bra, att de hittar dit de ska, visa vad toaletterna är, kioskerna är, eller bara säger hej och välkommen.
Ja, men ett tips till föreningen som ska starta upp är att att man inte behöver göra så svårt. Det är väldigt enkelt. Det behövs en väska med bollar och lite koner och västar, och sen att man har en ansvarig som är där på plats. Kanske första gångerna, men sen blir det väldigt självgående.
Några ansvar för materialet, andra ansvar för träning och att vi fördelar lag och så vidare. Och så brukar vi hjälpas åt med att göra ordning planer och ta hand om materialet efteråt.
Det viktiga tror jag, eller det enklaste i alla fall, det är att man binder upp sig med en förening. För då finns allt materialet, det finns bollar, det finns koner, det finns västar, det finns fotbollsplan. Och dessutom så har man ju den här symbiosen då som jag nämnde tidigare, att vi använder våra deltagare under matcher och så vidare här. Det kan man göra i de föreningarna också, stå i kiosker eller vad det nu än kan vara. Sen är vi ju lyckligt lottade att vi har ett samarbete med Kuramus som är en förening i Borås som då också står för våra fika. Det är ju en jättebra grej, och det är också ett tips till alla andra föreningar att kan man lösa det på ett sånt sätt så är det fantastiskt bra. För fikan, det är kanske viktigare än fotbollen. Man får aldrig glömma att det här är en social grej egentligen mer än en idrottsgrej. Sen så går de hand i hand och det blir jättebra. Man kan inte ta bort det ena och bara ha det andra. Men liksom, man får inte glömma att det är ju det sociala som är grundbulten i hela gåfotbollsbiten. Och fikan efteråt, om man frågar våra deltagare så tror jag alla kommer att säga att fikan efteråt är nog lite viktigare än det som händer ute på plan.
Jag brukar säga det, att det är så roligt så det är jättekul. Det här att få gå ut på plan själv nu när man är så här gammal liksom, och få vara i fokus och den som liksom är nummer ett, och det är det handlar om. Det är lite häftigt alltså. Och så där när man gör mål så här, yeah. Man tror inte att man är liksom så här någon tävlingsmänniska, men det är man. Man blir väldigt glad när man gör mål alltså.
I hope the movie worked. So they talk about fika, which is a Swedish word, and fika is, a cup of coffee and a cinnamon bun or a small sandwich. And in Sweden we love to fika. So when we play walking football, we have like 1.5 hour walking football and 1 hour fika afterwards. So that's everything from me. Maybe there's questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marie-Louise. Some questions?
I have a question. And about the rules. What kind of rules do you use? And is all the countries play with the same rules?
We have 3 different rules that you can use in Sweden. So you can play the one with the goalie that they play in England, or you can play the one without the goalie. It's up to the clubs how they want to form it, but we have regulations that they can use if they want to compete.
Okay. The federation gives some support, some money, or only technical support to the clubs?
No, we give them the ambassadors, and that's it. But next year we're getting funding from the government that will help us to help the clubs. So we are taking out like small amounts of money that they can apply for fika, for example, or if you need to buy footballs or anything.
Okay, that was my answer. We have one person, they want to make a question. Renat, I think you can do it.
Hello, Mary. Congratulations for your presentation. I have one question, 2 questions, better. Can you please show us or talk about what do you think about the projection or the future of the walking football in the after 10 years ago from this place? And another question is, there is interesting for the sponsorings. It's interesting to know about the economic, because this is the beginning of the all things, all the projects, Will the walking football have 5 years? I don't know, 6 years maybe. But for your expertise, do you think, or they have in this moment sponsorings interesting in the entering these projects? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, that's a good question, and it's actually something we struggle a lot with. We get government funding, but to get sponsors, that's a bit hard. Usually, they like don't think that the people over the age of 65 is a strong group with a lot of financial to buy things. So it's harder to get companies to sponsor that age group. So we haven't found anyone yet, but I know that they're in the marketing department looking for it. And if I can dream in 10 years where walking football in Sweden will be, it will be in every club. It will be possible to play your whole life in a club. And we usually say at work, like it will probably be an own department, like the walking football department, for their competitions and referee educations. So really, we think this is just the beginning, hopefully.
One more question about that. Do you think it's going to be more competitive, more FICA, both? What do you think?
It's interesting. There's like two camps.
Can you create a Liga, national tournament, or it's going to be more FICA?
There's like two camps between the clubs right now. There's clubs that think that competition is the wrong way to go. We want to make it just recreational, and then there are the clubs that want it to be more and more competitive. And we're not sure how that's going to go. What we're doing right now is we're doing a study with a university about competition in walking football, like how they are talking to 300 players over the age of 65 and asking them how do they want to compete, or do they want to compete? Is it a league once a week, or is it a more of a tournament kind of competition? So we're trying to learn, and it's a big question right now in Sweden between the clubs. What's the right way to go?
Yeah. I think the future is both. That is my idea. My idea is both.
Louise, sorry, Mary, but you can see the walking football in 10 years with the integration of Cristiano Ronaldo, Ibrahimovic. No, not 10 years, but 20 years. 15. No, it's run reality. We must to think about that, because this is one possibility. Think about walking football in 20 years. I don't know, 20 years. Cristiano Ronaldo have 24, maybe, I don't know. But with Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ibrahimovic, I don't know. Maybe it's we can dream about that.
That would be an amazing league.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you again. Thank you.